Oh boy, good night, Pro Dumpster Diver. So, guess what we got today? We have an old favorite collective of specialized, what we actually call these right here, which you guys can actually see. I'm not going to put everything out right now. But what you actually see right here are beautiful gold-plated mini chips. Now, these are mini. Now, how small are they? They're pretty small. Now, the reason why I'm showing you this is that I decided to, and I've had these for a while, we're finally going to put them in acid. Okay, we're finally going to put them in acid. I have a beautiful container that I got just for them. And I wanted to measure them because I don't know how small these ones are. Okay, now we're going to look at them first right now because there's a lot of them here. There's maybe thousands of them right now. Now, what they are is that they are double-sided. So as you can see here, and I'll actually put it on a ruler to show you, you have this chip here, which has 6 small pieces of gold on one side. And then on the other side here, we actually have the circuit. Okay, now I'm going to show you this as best as I can right now. You see that circuit? It's very, very, very small. But the good part is you would have the pieces that would actually go to that. And that top layer is actually covered in gold itself, right? It's very beautiful. Now, more than 50% of this side is actually covered in gold, which is amazing, by the way, okay? Now, remember, this is just one side, okay? And the other side of it is basically gold, but it's not covered. It's just 6 pieces. And those holes there are where the circuits would actually end up going. Now, if you look at it carefully, it looks like it was actually snapped, right? So one of the things I noticed is that when I had this in the container for a while and I was shaking it, these gold pieces are actually coming off. They're not stuck on there as they're supposed to, which is one of the reasons why I believe this project was actually disbanded. Okay, so what you're going to see is these gold pieces here, and this one kind of shows it, that they'll actually flake off. So it's going to be half gold, half copper. Okay, they weren't actually put on the PCB correctly. Now you can look at this one. You can actually see 2 holes on each side with a small wire circuit connecting it. Okay, very, very small. Okay, so this is what we have. Now, what is going to be the yield of this? The yield of this is probably going to be the highest content that you'll probably end up getting out of gold. Okay, now there's a couple of mixed things in here. Here we actually have a lot of these gold chips right here, which are very beautiful and they're very small. This is what will actually end up going to the set. Now I've had this in there for 2 years and I wanted to pull up where I bought it from. Okay. This here appears to be part of an air, it's a black box beacon. Okay, we'll just call it a black box beacon. What do I mean by that? This would actually end up being the push button for the LED signal for a black box of a plane. Okay, we'll just basically say that as an example right now because we're going to have to go ahead and actually put this in as something. Okay, now what else do we actually have inside of this pin? Well, inside of all of this, there's a couple different pieces like this here we actually have is not going to be gold. This would actually end up being a crystal. Okay, now we might be able to actually get that up. There we go. Sunny 2027. Okay, so this might have actually come off of something. And the problem is, could this be reused? Yes and no, but you have to be very careful not to get the solder ends of that tip to touch the other ones right now. Okay, trust me, it's going to be very, very difficult to actually do that. Okay, now there are a few other things in here. If I look around and actually see, you have this here. This is a gold finger that somehow got into it for some reason. Don't know how. All right, that's one gold piece there. We'll put this to the side. We have another piece here, which is actually all covered in the back part of it, which is beautiful. Okay, we have another part here, and this is an actual SIM chip. So someone actually did a YouTube video actually getting all of the gold off of sim chips. It was amazing, by the way. Shouts out to that creator that did it. Okay, we have another one here, which, oh, look at that. We actually have push buttons. So whenever you see these things, sometimes you'll actually see them on keyboards a little bit different, but you'll actually have a rubber and plastic piece that goes to this, and you can push it in order to actually connect the circuit. Okay, so this is where buttons would actually go, but something like this wouldn't go for cell phones because it would actually end up being too big. It'll be used for something else, maybe an older phone set, which is where this person might have actually cut it from. Let's see, a set Ryken Jerry. This might have been behind something. Let's see that there. Okay, let's look and see if a few other things here. Here we actually have another crystal. Okay, let me get this close to actually see what this one was. UC72B33. So this is a 33 frequency. Very, very nice. Okay, now we have a couple more things in here that I'm going to show you something new that I got. Oh, we got another piece here which actually appears to have, it looks like it had circuits on it, but those aren't circuits. I thought they were MLCCs or little fuses between them, but it's actually a couple soldered points. So this one over here would just have solder and some gold. Right now, there's no gold on the back, so we're going to have to put all that in acid with it. Have a couple more pieces here, a couple more foam pieces here, and then we actually have this. Now, this one here does actually have gold threads within it. And then, oh, wait, it says something. It says recorder detector 065. Interesting. Okay. Recorder detector. All right. Well, hey, that's part of gold scrap right there. Okay. And then we have a little piece here, and this would actually end up being part of the LCD screen right now. This is what was actually cut, and we do have a circuit part on that right there. So all of this is going to amount to a lot of gold pieces on the end of it. We got another piece here. What do we have? We have this here. We don't have any, I don't see any circuits in it. It's just basically covered in gold. Now, this is very thick PCB, by the way. This is about 3 times the thickness of RAM, but it is actually covered there. This is what you would actually reverse electroplate. Okay, now I'm also adding something new to the collection. I recently bought this online from a user who was actually selling a few sheets of them. And I didn't know the size of it there until I got it. I thought it would be a lot, but he didn't give the weight. He just said numbered all of them. So it actually came in a couple sheets like this, if you could actually see, which is beautiful, right? And the reason why I like this is that they had stencil cut everything out. So this is how it actually is, right? So I'm going to push one out so we can actually end up getting a better view of what this actually is. Damn, this is tough. There we go. All right, so we got one of them out, and we're going to look at both of these pieces here on one side, what we actually have. Okay, so we have a lot of holes in it, and that's where the circuits would go, such as an LED, a resistor, a capacitor, an actual relay. A lot of pieces there, which would actually be beautiful to go. This has a lot of gold on it, by the way, which is very good, and I absolutely like this. And we're going to flip it over and actually see the same thing that's actually on it. Now, is there writing? Possibly. So let's see what the stethoscope. Oh, okay. This is the actual circuit that would be inside of an electrical stethoscope. So if you go online to, I believe the company's name is Littman. Littman actually makes stethoscopes. And if you see on the bottom there, it says stethoscope. So this would actually be the circuit inside of the electrical stethoscope. So what's the circuit in it? It's going to have a microphone. It's going to have an amplifier. It's also going to have speakers where you would actually have like earphones over there, and it would actually pick up different things. So this circuit would actually be part of an amplifier circuit, which would have resistors, capacitors, a couple relays, some transistors in it. But yeah, very, very cool. So this would actually end up being the circuit for your amplifier. And if you actually clearly see, I believe you can actually see the circuit. It's like R36, 121, REV, reverse. FOL, that's polarity. R1 is resistors. So yeah, this would actually end up being the circuit board inside of an electrical stethoscope, which is basically all it's going to be is an amplifier, which will actually end up having the microphone connect to the bottom part of it. It would have the speakers, which would be like the earbuds that you would put in your ear. It would connect the long wires to it. It would have an amplifier, but it would also end up having a battery charger to it and also a special push button circuit. Now, if you look in the middle of it, you're actually going to see where that circuit would actually be. It's the box in the center of the box with all of those lines on it right now. Let me see if I can actually point to it. It would actually end up being right there. That little box is where that would actually go, which is your special circuit. Now, it's not going to have a LM555 timer on it because you don't need a timer for the circuit, but you do need an amplifier. So it may be an L36, I believe. It may be that. Okay. All right. So that's what we actually have right now. Now, the reason why I'm showing you this is that we are going to end up putting all of this in acid tomorrow. Okay. Now, I'm going to have to leave this there for an entire month. But since it's a lot of these small chips, I actually have a container over here. I went to the thrift store and actually got. Okay. And the container has a cover. And what we're going to do is we're going to pour all of our chips into that. Okay. And we're going to come out every day. We're going to shake the container. We're going to move it around. We're going to get all of that stuff done there. And then what I have to do is I have to, because these sheets won't fit into there, we're going to have to pop each of these out of all of those sheets. Okay. And then put them in there. But the beautiful part is there's so many of them. So how am I going to have to actually filter this? Well, it is going to be tricky. I'm not going to lie to you. It's going to be tricky. We're going to possibly have to dilute the whole thing, but I don't want to do that because that will be a waste of muriatic acid and hydrogen peroxide. What we're going to do is we're going to pour everything back into the container. Okay, and we're going to pour we're going to put everything, it's probably going to come up to here, the muriatic acid up to here, and every day we're going to come in, we're going to shake it. And what we're going to end up doing to properly filter this out, because we can pour, yeah, this is definitely going to be tricky. We can pour a lot of it into a filter up until these pieces start going into it. And the danger, let me show you the danger of it, is pieces like this would actually pop the filter, okay? This actually has gold on it right now that you can't reverse electroplate because they're separated by pieces. They're all not touching. So we're going to have to put this inside of acid, okay? So the danger of that is these pieces would pop the filtration system. So what we're going to do is we're going to have to get gloves, take out the chips, put them into a separate container in water, and wait for the chips there and scoop the chips out with a strainer. Yeah, we're going to have to go that route. We're going to have to scoop the chips out with a strainer because they're big enough not to fall through the holes. And once we do that, we can actually just end up using let's say a hand sprayer and actually just spray them off, and we'll end up getting our gold out of it. But this is a lot of gold in here right now, a massive amount. Okay, so what I'm going to attempt to do is actually put everything back into this container right now. But before we do that, we're going to have to get these pieces out. Okay, now where is the writing on this? I don't even see any writing at all but the actual chips. So these were actually done in a factory, but they got rid of them because there might have been issues. So yeah, this basically happens right now. And they're very difficult to pull out because they're connected to PCB pieces as well. So that's one. Damn, that's tough. That's two. That's three. And so I'd have to put that out of each of them there. So obviously that's going to take some time. All right, guys. This program's Dumpster back at it again, letting you guys know that there is money to make out there. Now, what am I going to make out of this? To be honest, we'll probably, out of all of this, I'm going to be honest with you guys, we might actually get a pound of gold out of this, right? I might get a pound of 10 karat out of this, But to purify, and the reason why I'm saying that is that we have so many of these little pieces, but once we put all the gold together after everything, it's probably going to come up to be a pound of gold right now. What's the weight? I couldn't even tell you the weight of it. I can't even tell you the weight of this because there's just so many of them. All right. But questions, comments, concerns, put them in the comment section. All right. Have a good day. Any questions, let me know, because we're going to put this in acid and I'm going to show you the amount of gold inside of these pieces here. Pro Dumpster Diver out.